thank you, Paolo, for your words and inspiration. We've been working, we're a social enterprise, we're working on the ground. As Jose and Paolo said, very much implementation has to be about on the ground. And we've been working to introduce sustainable communities, products and services since 1992 with partners in the UK and around the world. And from our practical experience, as Jan Gustav said, we developed a framework of 10 principles which are a bit like sustainable development goals and an action plan implementation process which we call One Planet Living. And we thought that this approach could inform countries and nations' deliberations about sustainable development goals and delivery plans and thinking about post-Rio implementation. So we wanted to try it out with you to see how the One Planet Living approach would work at a national level. And so thank you very much, which we're going to do in a minute. So thank you very much for your joining in with this experiment. But first of all, I'm just going to briefly explain a little bit about One Planet Living and how we come up with this title. So we all know we're consuming more resources than the planet can restore every year. We have these environmental problems, as Jose mentioned, and that different countries are consuming at different rates. So if everyone in the world lived like people in the United Arab Emirates, we need more than 6 planets to support us. And this is One Planet Living. And you can see the purple is the carbon. And at the same time, many people don't have enough, as we know. 20% of people don't have basic needs, and 80% of the world is not fully developed. So the most important thing is we need to think about equity and sustainable consumption and production. And if you cross the ecological footprint with the Human Development Index, you can start to see which countries are almost down in the right-hand corner where we need to be. So the closest countries are actually the Latin American countries, which is interesting, but nobody is really down here. And the more the population grows, the lower this line goes, and the harder it is to actually achieve it. So population is a factor. So One Planet Living is a people-centred approach, which is all about how we can all live a happy, healthy life within a fair share of the world's resources and still leave space for wildlife and wilderness. And usually when you say that, people will say, oh, well, I don't want to compromise my lifestyle, or we all want to have an American lifestyle. So what we've tried to show in our real projects working with partners is how it can be done. So whether it's a sustainable paper production, which reduces your ecological footprint of your paper use by 93%, whether it's local delivery of products, of charcoal product, to reduce transport CO2 by 85%, or the eco-village, where you can reduce your personal CO2 by 71%. All of these are like the jigsaw puzzle pieces to show that we can have an aspirational lifestyle for 7 billion people. It wouldn't be possible. And people don't feel they have to suffer. They actually say, I like this lifestyle better than the wasteful lifestyle where we're working in the UK. But we are also working around the world in the United Arab Emirates, the 6th planet place, in China. And it was lovely to go to China and see the eco-community that we started at the very beginning when it was just an idea, and to see how happy everybody was living there and how they reduced their impact, that they had a better life. And this is something for everyone in China to aspire to. Also working with local authorities using this One Planet Living approach. And we also wrote the strategy for the London Olympics using the One Planet Living approach. And this has changed how the construction industry works in the UK. So many construction companies worked on it. It's changed the way that they're working. So also stores and manufacturers are all committing to achieve One Planet Living for themselves, but to enable their citizens or their consumers or their residents to achieve One Planet Living. So these are our 10 principles, and I think if with the SDGs, if they could also be eye-catching like this, it really helps people to remember it and to be able to use it. I've even got it on the back of my business card, so it's just really, really easy for people to use and remember. And the idea of one pattern is very, very simple, even a child can understand it. And this is our high level, but we also then sort of track down through that. So I'll just tell you a little bit about these principles so that you can use them in the workshop. There are 10, and the first one is zero carbon in building energy use. So we need to enable access to energy, we need to make buildings energy efficient, and we need to deliver all energy from renewable energy, because there's not going to be, we cannot absorb that amount of carbon, and so we definitely need to decarbonise our energy system and our buildings. Waste, we need to reduce waste, we can create products out of it, and we need to send no waste to landfill. Transport, we need to encourage low carbon modes of transport and public transport, encourage cycling, walking. Sustainable materials, we need to use healthy and sustainable materials with a low embodied impact that are renewable or made from waste. Food, we need sustainable and humane agriculture and farming, access to nutritious, low impact local seasonal food, and reducing food waste. Water, we need access to safe drinking water and sanitation, using water more efficiently in farming and buildings and products, and designing to avoid flooding. Land, wildlife, that's really about biodiversity, protecting and restoring biodiversity and natural habitats through good land use and integrating more into the built environment. Culture and community, we need to respect and revive local identity, wisdom and culture. Education for all, and this is all on the little handout you've got on your table. Valuing and encouraging the involvement of the community and actually shaping their community, so principle 10, and shaping their lives. Equity in the local economy, I suppose you could say this is the green economy. Creating strong, diverse local economies that meet people's needs and support fair employment and international fair trade. And finally, health and happiness, promoting good health and well-being through access to healthcare, encouraging active, social, meaningful lives to promote good health and well-being. So we use these as a checklist or a framework, and the process that we use is to analyse what people need. So whether it's for a project like the Olympics or a community, we've even looked as far as a city level and a regional level. Where do the impacts arise? And then create and implement an action plan or a roadmap to actually achieve One Planet vision using the 10 principles and common international targets and indicators. And then measure and report results. So this is the report of the retailer I mentioned, and you can see here how that looks inside the report. So you could use, and the SDGs perhaps could be used in the same way to report against as they get implemented over a couple of years. So I think, my hope for the SDGs is that they will work not just at this national level, but they will be accessible to people so that companies or individuals will be able to actually use the SDGs as a framework for themselves as well. So now I'm going to, I hope I've given you a little bit of an introduction so that you'll be able to think about how you can apply these at a national level as a sort of proxy for the SDGs. And Jan Gustav is going to tell you a little bit more about how we're going to do this workshop. Thank you.